Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for watching this video. Now, in this part of the video, I'll be going through Evergreen end of year Sec 2 2021 paper 2. The previous video, we stopped at question number 4. So today, we're going to continue question 5, 6, and 7 using the answer scheme available for our marking. The answer scheme can be found in the Google Classroom. Right, so let's begin with our question number 5. Right, in question number 5, this is a spherical pumpkin. So spherical pumpkin is modeled as a sphere. The actual real one, of course, is not a full sphere. It's just a round modeled as. So we need to know a few of our formulas or whichever. Hopefully you can remember. If not, the formula sheet have a full sphere, right? So volume of sphere itself is given by 4/3 pi r cubed. Volume. So 4/3 pi r cubed. But we want a hemisphere, all right, remember to multiply by half. You need a half times 4/3 pi r cubed. And maybe they might ask for surface area and other formulas like that. So for volume for sphere and surface area of sphere is given, okay, in the formula sheet itself. So please refer to the formula sheet. Okay, next one. A right cone is being removed from the hemispherical pumpkin. So a right cone, so this is the formula for a cone. So formula for cone, volume of cone will be given as 1/3 pi r squared, the circular base, times the vertical height, which is actually 12 cm over here, right? So we notice a few things. When you cut out and remove certain things, yes, the volume decrease, but the surface area may not necessarily decrease, because when you cut out new things, the surface area can increase in case they ask you. So if they were to ask you what's the total surface area, you have actually 3 components. First part, the surface area for the curved surface area outside, okay? And then next one, the donut over here, this surface area, okay, the donut, the larger circle minus the smaller circle, and last but not least, the curved surface area of the cone itself. So if they were to ask you about total surface area, please do remind I need to find the 3 individual components of the surface area and add them together. Okay, but now maybe I'm just looking at the volume, not sure about it. Let's look at the question. The question, the height of the cone is twice the radius of the cone. What does this actually tell me? You notice that I only have currently the radius for the cone, right? But I do not have the radius for my pumpkin, correct? But I know that this portion over here, this is the height of cone, which is 2 times. If I were to rotate this means the diameter, the radius of my hemisphere is actually, the radius of my hemisphere, this is actually 12 cm. So radius of hemisphere is actually 12 cm. Okay, so this one is you need to know, interpret on your own and be able to see that portion, right? Then given that the radius and height of cone is 6 and 12, find the volume of the hemispherical pumpkin with the hollow part. Okay, that means take the volume of the hemisphere minus the volume of the cone, but leave everything in terms of pi. Right, so first let's find area of hemisphere. Area of hemisphere, half 4/3 pi r cubed. So I'll calculate everything, all the numbers here, except for the pi. Okay, except for pi. So I'll leave it as 1152 pi. So I'll calculate all the numbers over there. Okay, and volume of cone, 1/3 base area, 1/3 pi r squared times height. So similarly, I'll calculate everything except for the pi. Then I give me 144 pi. So after I know these two, I subtract away and I'm able to get the answer 1008 pi. Okay, so common questions, students forget, common mistakes students forget that it's in terms of pi. I'll give the answer in terms of significant figures, okay, or decimal place. So this is a common mistake. Next one, calculate the surface area of the hemisphere pumpkin with the hollow part. I was saying there were 3 different portions just now, right? Where's the first portion? The first portion is my, okay, let me erase this, curved surface area of this hemisphere. That's the first portion, right? Then I look at my second portion, the second one. So the first one over here, curved surface area of the hemisphere. Yeah. Okay, so I'm finding the curved surface area of hemisphere. Oops, my drawing. Okay, area of sphere, surface area of here is 4 pi r square, area pi r square. But since it's hemisphere, you need to multiply by a half. Okay, and the larger radius is 12. So you leave it in terms of decimal place or whichever, they never say must be pi. Okay, so we can leave it out in terms of pi or decimal place. Next, I want to find the donut. There's the second one. There's a donut over here. How should I, what color should I use? A donut. Okay, so this part is the donut, right? So you should need to take area of larger circle, area of big circle, minus the area of the small circle. Big circle radius 12, so pi r square by 12 square minus small circle radius 6 minus pi 6 square. Okay, so you have these two and the teacher left it in terms of pi. Of course, you can write it in terms of 5 in the figure. Then last but not least, we're going to find the curved surface area of the cone. Curved surface area of the cone, which is the cone inside here. Curved surface area of cone is given by the formula pi r l. Where is this pi r l? Where is the L? The L is the slant height. So in order to find the slant height, I take the radius, which is 6 cm, and the vertical height, which is 12 cm, and I use Pythagoras theorem. So 6 square plus 12 square, square root. Okay, longer side, so 6 square plus 12 square, square root. Okay. Then, after I know that already, pi r l, you notice the teacher used square root 180 to find the perfect answer, the accurate answer, not perfect answer, accurate answer. But of course, don't like 5 secant figure, still can use, right? So curved surface area of the cone, which is this one, pi r and l. So pi r l. Then after that, add all 3 parts together and round off the answer. Okay, since the question one, 3 significant figures, I mean, they didn't say lah, but the answer is actually not accurate involving pi already, then we round off the answers to 3 sig. So 1, 2, 3, round up. So this one, 150, but 150 is not the correct placing, so 1,500, so 1500 cm cube. Okay, next question over here. Let's begin. The conical pumpkin was smashed. That means, this smashed and converted into shape of a cube. That means this phrase down here, right? The conical pumpkin converted into the shape of a cube. This is looking for the, is it looking for the length, the surface area, or the volume? It's actually looking for the volume of the pumpkin, right? So it's actually looking for the volume of a pumpkin. So let's find the volume of the pumpkin. So volume of pumpkin is 1/3 pi r square h. So 1/3 pi r square times the height. Sure. Let me count this in terms of pi as accurate as possible. If not 5 sig in your working, 1/3 times 6 square times 12, that gives me 144 pi, okay, which is what the teacher actually put down here. All right, so volume of the cone itself. And then now it's being shaped into the shape of a cube. What is a cube? Cube has things such that length, breadth, and height. Oh, my drawing of a cube is so ugly. Right, length, breadth, and height, all the same, right? So the cube was placed on a circular plate with diameter y cm. If it's fit accurately, but they actually never tell me that it's fit exactly accurately, right? Oh, but they want minimum value of y. So if that means it's to fit accurately, that means this one over here is my diameter. And how do I find the diameter? Given that it's a cube, this length, which is your x, and this length, which is your x, okay, will give you the Pythagoras theorem. Can find the diameter, which is the minimum value of your y. So y is equals to square root of x squared plus x squared, which is square root of 2x squared. But please don't go and cancel anyhow, okay? But first, if this is a cube, length, breadth, and height should all be the same. So I'll say that x cubed itself, okay, I'll do that. X cubed, the volume of the cube, right, is equals to 144 pi. How am I going to find the length of one side of the cube? So x will be, how do I do the cube? Cube root, right? Cube root 144 pi. And that gives me a number of 7.67, whatever. So in actually working, no need so many numbers. 5 sig fig will do. Then after that, since I'm drawing out, over here, the teacher actually helped to draw us to visualize. Okay, to find the value for y, I use Pythagoras theorem. 7.676 square plus 7.676 square root, and get the answer. But of course, for easy convenience, they say y is an integer, right? They give you as one integer, also round it off to 11. Okay. Right. Next one, next question. Question number 6. In a sequence itself, the difference between consecutive terms is constant. So this is the one looking for a constant term, right? The second term of sequence, we've got the first, second one is number 9, third, the third one is 4th. So the 4th term is 23. So I need to check from 9, I'm going to skip one time, one difference, skip a second time. So it's actually 2 times the difference. So I'm going to find 23 minus 9. Let me find the common difference first, right? Minus 9, this is 14. The common difference, I skipped it 2 times, will be 14 divided by 2, that's 7. So that means 9 plus 7 gives me the number 16, plus 7 again gives me a number 23, plus 7 again, I'm going to find the 5th term, plus 7, that gives me a number 30. And if I have to work backwards, over here, what number plus 7? That 2. So my first term is actually 2. And in order to learn to find the general pattern, I probably need to find term 0, so minus 7. That gives me negative 5. So if I find the expression for the nth term of the sequence, since it's all plus 7, plus 7, plus 7, the formula will be plus 7n. And term 0 is minus 7, so will be negative 7 plus 7n. Oh, not negative 7. Oh, I copied wrongly. Negative 5, sorry. No wonder I look at the answer, how come it's a bit different? Okay, sorry, a bit blur. So in this case, I found the answer for 5th term, which is 30, and also the expression for the nth term of the sequence. Okay, have you gotten the answer? Now, definitely they're going to ask me something else, right? So in another sequence, the first 4 terms have another different sequence. That's why you notice, right, that this will have a particular different pattern. Okay, let us analyze the pattern a little bit. When it's term 1, this is 1 square. Term 2, 2 square. Term 3, 3 square. Term 4, 4 square. So if it's term n, this one will be n square. Okay? Then next thing, they start off with another part of the number. 2 go to 9. 9 go to 6. 6 go to 23. 2, 9, 16, 23. 2, 9, 16, 23. 2, 9, 16, 23. Do you see this? 2, 9, 16, 23. And what is the pattern for that? 7n minus 5, or negative 5 plus 7n. So it means this portion over here, the 2, 9, 16, 23, the nth term will be minus 5 plus 7n. I should rewrite it to give it in terms of n squared and n number. So hence, I found the sequence for the pattern in terms of n's for the term n. Okay, and they want me to find the sixth term, so I just find the next one, 6 squared plus 20. This one, fifth term was 30, add another 7. Okay, that will give you 37. So if not, I will just simply substitute inside this one since I already know it. Okay. Then, but they want T6. So when they want T6, right, the answer in the answer blank here should not be just the answer 73. Well, this is not correct because the term over here of the sequence, you notice the way they write is this whole line itself. They did not equate it and give it to a number. So the common mistake that student would make is they will calculate this and put it as the answer. So no, in this case, I'll put term 6, which are, that means I need to find term 5. Will be 5 squared plus 30. Term 6 itself will be 6 squared plus another 7, 37. So instead, I need to write out this whole line of the pattern in the sequence. I'm not calculating the final value of the whole sequence. I'm copying the whole line of pattern in the sequence. So please take note, okay, and write the correct answer. Okay. You see, the teacher say most of the students did not follow the pattern and gave the answer 73 instead. Therefore, they cannot get the correct answer. Okay, so for enter a sequence, we already found the answer. So we're going to skip that. Next one. TP and TP plus 1 are consecutive terms in the sequence. Show that it can reduce to this. So let me do one by one first. Let's find TP. I use my sequence. It was n squared plus 7n minus 5. I'm going to change it to just p squared plus 7p minus 5. Simple, straightforward. That's TP, right? But now I want TP plus 1. It's n squared plus 7n minus 5. But now I'm going to change this n to, since they say p plus 1, so this will be p plus 1 squared plus 7 times p plus 1. A word of caution, p plus 1 squared is p squared plus 1 squared plus 2ab, p 2 times p times 1. 2 times p, there is a 2p over here, 2p. Right? Please do not give me p squared plus 1 squared. If you really don't know how to do or cannot remember or you don't want to memorize the formula, change it to p plus 1, and expand it out. Okay? So if you expand it out, this one should give you p plus 2p plus 1 squared, p squared, okay? Plus this one, expand the bracket, 7p plus 7 minus 5, simplify everything, blah, blah, blah. All right, simplify everything. You should get the answer for TP plus 1, this whole thing. Okay, so you notice that the teacher actually combine the algebra skills with the number pattern of the answering of the question. And this has been quite common because in 2022 paper 2, it also, something also like that. The questions type was similar. So it means that it's quite popular among the questions, the teachers itself. Right? Then next, find TP plus 1 minus. So I take this expression, subtract this, but remember to put brackets, right? The whole of the expression. So all the sign over here will change. And finally, you get your answer, 2p plus 8. All right? Okay? So it's still doable. Just spread it out step by step. Find TP first. Then find TP plus 1 and make sure you expand carefully, avoid the common mistakes, all right? Cannot remember the formula for a plus b holding square, a square plus b square plus 2ab. You can do the p plus 1, then you do expansion. Okay, have you gotten the answer? Okay, yes, then we're going to go through the next question. I think it's the last few questions already, right? Oh no, still have. Explain why two consecutive terms cannot have a difference that's smaller than 10. The difference, what was the difference? The difference, just now we found something with the difference, 2p plus 8, right? 2p plus 8. So the difference is found by 2p plus 8. This is the difference. What is the smallest that p can be? P is a term. The smallest that it can go is when p is equals to 1. That's the smallest value. For other than that, all the other terms, p can be smaller or equal to, or can be greater than 1. Can be the second term, which p will become 2, third term, fourth term, fifth term, 100th term, so on and so forth. So the smallest value that p can take is actually greater than or equals to 1, which makes the difference over here 2 times the smallest value greater than, so I write the difference. Okay, so P is now, P has to be, the smallest is equals to 1, but P can be greater than 1, so greater than equals to, so the difference itself will be greater or equals to when P is 1 plus 8. That gives me greater or equals to 10. So if that's the case, the smallest minimum value that it can take is 10. So therefore, the difference cannot be smaller than 10. It has to be bigger or equal to 10. Okay. If let's say you cannot prove the last one, but the previous part of the question, but they did give you 2p plus 8. So you can still try the questions and think and logically. If you don't write it in terms of this one, what you can do, you can also write when p is equals to 1, the smallest possible value is 2 times 1 plus 8, which is 10. So if the smallest value is 10, the difference cannot be smaller than 10. So you can write, explain something like that. Okay, have you gotten your answer? Next question. I think this is the last question already. Statistics. Okay, for question number 7, this is a back-to-back stem and leaf diagram. Please take note. Stem and leaf diagram, for here, this is the stem. If I look at this number, this is the number 50, no problem. But if I look at the back-to-back stem and leaf diagram and I look at this number over here, this number is not 15. I look at the stem to the leaf, stem then leaf. So this number here will become 51. Okay, it will be the stem to the leaf. So please don't mix up the numbers. All right. Next question. Let's look at the key. So this means twice. Okay, sometimes the key itself got like represent thousands or decimals or in terms of hundreds or whichever. So or 0.01 cm or whichever, something like that. So please take note to read the key for any small misleading areas. Okay. Next question. Okay, first part. The total of cartons defective toys, right? So for defective toys, will you want a bigger number of defective toys or lesser number of defective toys? Right? No, just thinking in general. If the data of the defective toys in carton A is to be represented in a pie chart, in a full pie chart, okay, the total, there are 500, 12 cartons no, not 500 toys There are 500, but there are 12 cartons. Oh, you just need 12. Okay, 12 cartons, right, represent the whole pie chart. That means 12 cartons represent 360 degrees. Calculate the angle of the sections represent cartons that more than 30 defective toy, more than 30, 30 is counted as not more than 30, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, this is 33, 32, 32, 33, 47, 43, 48. 51. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 cartons. So 7 out of 12 times 360. That gives you 210 as the answer. Have you gotten the answer? This one should be straightforward. Okay, next part. Find the median number of defective toys in factory B. Median number of defective toys. How many cartons we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, still correct, 12. So the middle position will be 12, which is n plus 1 divided by 2. 12 plus 1 divided by 2. That gives you the 6.5. So the 6.5 toy for factory B, starting from the one nearest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th toy, that'll be 48 and 50. Add together, divide by 2. Add together, divide by 2. So the number of median of defective toys will be 49. Okay, next question. Now, compare the distribution in two ways. There are many ways to compare the distribution. Number one, I can compare the mean. When I compare the mean, right? Mean, mode, or median. Mean, mode, or median. Okay. These few numbers tells me the, what do you call that? The performance in general, whether, okay, in this case, it's talking about number of defective toys, whether which one has more number of defective toys, and which one will be easier to calculate. Now, usually I'll try to choose mean as my number one top option, but I noticed that there's quite a number of data. If you want, you can calculate the mean to find, but both of mean are not available. You need to calculate both the mean, but I just now calculated the median for factory B already. So actually I can take a quick of a shortcut, because if I rank them, I will choose mean, median, then followed by the last choice is mode, right? So in this case, I will actually compare the median if possible. So I'm going to find the median for factory A. So you notice that the median of factory A is still 6.5 position. Let's go back to our data. 6.5, counting from the one nearest to the stem and out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 32 plus 32 divided by 2, still 32. If you want to do your comparison, you must give the evidence. Okay, you must quote the number. Okay. Median of factory B, 49, more than, greater than median of factory A. Okay, or median of factory A, 2 smaller than median of factory B in this case. Therefore, okay, factory A produce lesser defective toys. So give the evidence and then give the conclusion. Right, for me, I write the other way around, but as long as you explain the evidence, quote the evidence, and give the conclusion, should be fine, right? So usually for me, I'll say since median A equals to 32, smaller than median B equals to 49, therefore factory A has lesser defective toys. Okay, so first one, I compare the performance of the whole thing. Next thing to compare, I compare my R range. The range itself will give me the spread of my data to see how consistent or not consistent, but actually it doesn't really give you such an accurate measure of a consistency. When you go to Set 3 level, you learn more about consistency using interquartile range and standard deviation. But now a range just gives me an idea of a spread, whether is it a large spread or is it a lesser spread itself. Okay, but of course we can, if I have a large spread, okay, meaning that the data are very different or whichever, is less consistent. Okay, larger spread, then the data vary a lot, so it's less consistent. But if I have a smaller spread, then it will be a small, better consistency. That means they're near about the same. Okay, which actually means that this factory is consistently producing defective toys at a number, okay, which may not be good, but anyway, just consistency. So I'm going to say a range. So a large spread, and which is a large range, will be less consistent. And then a small spread, small range will be more consistent. So how do I find the range? Range is given by largest maximum minus the minimum. So my maximum data, what's my maximum for A? Maximum data for A, I'm going to erase this away. 51. 51 minus the smallest, 51 minus the smallest, 24. Remember, not 42, 24. So 51 minus 24. and the other one will be 54 minus 34. Okay. Oh, it looks like B has a smaller range. Okay. So for state the evidence, so for me, I say since range of B, they want to say which one is more consistent. Also larger spread also can. 54 minus 34, which is 20, right? I'll just write 54 minus 24. Okay, is it 24? 34. 20. Then compare with range of A, I remember B is smaller, 51 minus 24. 51 minus 24 is 27. Okay, slightly a little bit smaller, right? Therefore, factory B has smaller spread. Or alternatively, if you want to say that factory B has slightly more consistent, or it actually means consistently producing a defective number of toys, which actually not very ideal lah. Okay, but yeah, just comparing, no need to make a conclusion which factory is better. So we'll just say that factory B has a smaller spread. Or if you want and you know how to say that consistency, you can say factory B is slightly a bit more consistent. Okay, some of the common mistake mentioned by the teacher is that students use a word larger range, okay, just the word larger range instead of mentioning the word spread or consistency. So the correct keyword to use, you need to explain or mention until the word spread or consistency, okay? All right, so in this case, some of the answers, if you write and it's not hit the keyword, may not give you the marks. Next part of the question, when the number of defective points found in the 13 carton, added. Okay, so got one more. The range is increased to 23. What's my current range? Current range for B is 54 minus 34. So my largest is maximum is originally 54. My minimum is originally 34. Am I right? Let me take a look. I cannot remember. Yes, 34. So if I were to increase my range, that means either the maximum or the minimum value will be changed. Okay, will be changed. So if I want to, the largest, so I'm going to increase this maximum origin and the range was 20, right? So I increase by 3. So this one can become 57. Or I reduce my minimum by 3. This one by 3 will be 31. So these two numbers change. So either the first number, 31, or if not, it's 57. Have you gotten the answer? Okay, if yes, then let us proceed to our last page, last part of our question. This one is a giveaway question. It is so standard. Okay, student, please, if this question comes out, you must memorize how to do this kind of question. This is like a pure calculation question. It's a must know how to do. Okay, the table summarizes the time taken by 40 students to complete a worksheet, and you notice that this is the timing given in intervals, right? So that means the actual data is not given, the raw data is not given, and we probably need to do some estimation if you're to find the calculate the mean, right? Okay, but anyway, write down the modal class. Modal means the one that's most frequent, that has the highest frequency, the most popular. So but write down the modal class, the class interval itself. So this one is 10. So the class interval, copy the whole interval into your answer blank. Okay, not just 30 or 40. Right, neither is it 35. 35 is just used for representative mid-mark to calculate the estimate of the mean. Calculate the estimation of the mean, so we need to find the mid values. How do we find the mid value? 20 plus 30 divided by 2, 25, 35, 45, 50, oops, 5, and 65. Okay, mentioning this again, 20 plus 30 divide by 2. There has been students who used 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 last time in the past few years of examination. So please check. Okay, make sure you use the correct answer. Then multiply it with our frequency. So 25 times 7, 35 times 10, 45 times 5, 55 times 9, 65 times 9. So on and so forth. We find the total. Divide by our total frequency, which is actually 40 students. Okay, or you don't want, you can write 40. Show the working. Sometimes when you write the final answer and key everything in your calculator, somehow your answer is not correct, right? Maybe you got the fat finger syndrome and pressed wrongly, or you blah blah or whichever. Okay, anyway, during exam, everyone panics. Sometimes even me, I calculate answers, sometimes I make mistakes also. So write down the working, secure your 1 mark. Okay, secure your 1 mark. And for me, I write down the answer. Do not go and round off. Tell me in terms of minutes or give me seconds or whatever. So this is just a statistical average. Even if they're asking you for a number of cars or whichever, okay, also no, don't go around. It's just a statistical average. Write down the actual number, the number itself. Okay, and if it's exact as much as possible, no need to round to 3 sig. If you are in doubt, always use fractions, a mixed number or improper fraction, right? Next question, what is the percentage of students who took 1 hour or more? 1 hour or more. 1 hour or more means 60 minutes and more. So 60 and more, number of students, that will be 9 out of 40 times 100%. So give you 22.5%. Okay, cannot do the first part. First part still can do this part. Am I right? Then last part. Is there any last more question? Or no more question already? That's the end of the paper. Oh, I thought they will ask you explain why this is an estimated mean. I hope you know why it's an estimated mean. Okay, because the raw value data is not available, we are using the mid value of each class to estimate the mean. Right. Other than that, okay, we have finished our question for this part of our paper. Then I come to the end of our video for today. I'll see you again for the next paper. Thank you. Goodbye.